Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming back. Today I found out by looking on some socials that supposedly today, the 30th of September, is National Podcast Day. And so I love a podcast. A close second behind audiobooks. You know, I love listening to audiobooks, and sometimes it can get a bit taxing, so it's nice to switch over to a nice podcast. So the fact that it's National Podcast Day, I thought I have to celebrate this fact and share it with you and do a National Podcast Day vlog, if you like. And it made me think, who makes up all these days, you know? National Podcast Day, you know, buffet day, this day, that day. And it made me think about, I just Googled, you know, the weirdest days. And if you type in timeanddate.com or just Google fun holidays, fun, wacky and trivia holidays, you can have a little look at all the different holidays. I don't know who makes them up, but I suppose it's like anything in culture, isn't it? If enough people decide that it's National Podcast Day, then that's what it is. So yeah, I'm not sure what movement we can get going to move forward, but yeah, let's start a day, eh? Comment below what day you'd like to see. National what day? And so in this episode, I'm just going to quickly share with you my 7 favorite podcasts that I subscribe and listen to. But these are just my favorite 7. What you need to do is download a podcast app. They come on Android or Apple. You need to download a podcast app and just browse. You know, it won't take you long before you find one that resonates with you, or you can just search whatever you like. Cooking, health, law, crime, anything, psychology, you know, science, AI, whatever it is, just type it in and you'll find something that resonates with you and get stuck in. Because I'm telling you, behind audiobooks, it's a powerful way to get information, and an easy way. It's just conversations, most podcasts, apart from some of them where they're just single monologues. But enough of that. Download a podcast app, have a little browse around and find one that you like. And yeah, comment below. Comment below if you already subscribe and have a favorite podcast, or if you've searched and downloaded the app and had a look and found a podcast because of this episode and the fact that it's National Podcast Day. So I'm going to start. These aren't in any particular order, but I want to focus in on this one specifically because this is a good friend of mine from school. I've known him for about 30 years. His name's Scott Laidler, and he hosts the Healthy Ambition podcast, where he focuses on health, business and psychology, and he gives you actionable tips. He gives you a lot of valuable information. He's a very intelligent guy, and he's had some amazing guests on there. Olympians, entrepreneurs, you know, people doing great feats of physical and intellectual feats. And it's just a great podcast. So that's where I'll start. I need to give big props to my good friend Scott Laidler. And so I'll start with him, even ahead of the best podcast for me, the Joe Rogan Experience. If you're never going to check out any other podcast, give Joe Rogan Experience a couple of tries, because it's just, there's so much on there. I think he's got 1,300 episodes now. The back catalogue is amazing, and you're just going to find something that that resonates with you. Next would be the Tim Ferriss Show. Yeah, again, almost as powerful and famous as the Joe Rogan Experience, the Tim Ferriss Show. Then you've got another one that's really high up on my list, the Sam Harris Making Sense podcast. Used to be called the Waking Up podcast, but he's recently released a book and an app with that name, Waking Up. So he's decided to move away from Waking Up, keep that separate, and have his podcast as the Making Sense podcast. Another powerful one is Jordan B. Peterson's podcast. He's become very popular by being on Joe Rogan's podcast, surprisingly, and now he's got a platform all to himself where he's sharing these psychological and intellectual ideas. Yeah, very powerful stuff. Philosophize This. If you're interested in philosophy and ultimately the history of the world and how it developed and all the ideas, Philosophize This. It might be a bit hard going if you're new to podcasts, because it's just the one guy, Stephen West, his monologue of these different ideas and characters and concepts, but I really enjoy that. And the last one that I'll share, because I could just talk about podcasts all day, but I'm not going to. I'm going to limit it to 7. Lex Friedman's Artificial Intelligence podcast. He has on there some amazing people from the world of AI, and yeah, you know, if you get into this, you're going to see where the future is and how close we are to having these AIs really impacting our lives. So yeah, really, that's all I wanted to share with you today. National Podcast Day. There's some of my 7 favorites, but ultimately, I urge you to download a podcast app, have a little browse for 5 minutes. If you browse for 5 minutes, you're going to find something that resonates with you, and then just get in that rabbit hole. So I'll ask you, if you enjoyed the video, share it around, like and subscribe to the channel. But please, my call to action today is comment. Your favourite podcast, your top 3, your top 5, your top 10 if you like me and love podcast. Or if you've downloaded the app and found one, just share that as well. Please give me a comment and let's get some life to this channel, eh? Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Get listening. National Podcast Day. See you later.